Well, I'm back again. I just thought I'd jump on, and I was thinking about how uh, the sort of things that help with my depression. As I say, that when I was thinking about this, I thought obviously, yeah, things like therapy. I'm on the medication that I'm on. There are certain things that I've looked for over the years, in the last at least 2 or 3 decades, of sort of things that help me ease the depression. Now, I think a lot of people will fall into the trap, and I have as well, is when you turn to booze or food or something like that to try and make you feel better, obviously getting that immediate, like, dopamine hit. But one of the things that really has helped me is music. I was thinking about this afternoon, and I was thinking, the stuff that I've gone through, um, the music that I listened to over the years has helped immensely. It really has. I remember uh, when I left home in 1987. I was only 17. I was very young, and I was down south. It was doing some voluntary work, and I went down to see a friend in London. And I remember being on the tube and seeing a poster for George Michael's debut album, Faith, and being really excited about it. And obviously now, even 35 years later, it's still great. It's still wonderful. And the songs, I've listened to them thousands of times, but they've really helped to try and focus in on sort of and help to soothe the really sort of horrible negative thoughts. And at night time, I would listen to Baroque choral music, which is from around about the 16th century, and it is very helpful to have this like very sort of calming influence as well. I was introduced to that by my friend Dave, and he said, that you used to listen to this, and I've got loads of albums now uh, from the same sort of genre where it's pure choral, and I think that finding something like that is really important. It really has helped me. And I mean, the other thing that's helped me as well, going off the topic, is photography. Photography is one of the things that really has helped me immensely, because when I'm out, and like obviously music, I'm listening to music all the time, especially when I'm out, in the street or going to the shops and stuff. But I'm also looking for a picture. I'm looking for something that would look good. So one of the things that you'll find this in a lot of like photography competitions is that the timing of things is so important. So when you see the animal or whatever that's come out, or whatever it is, and timing is really really important. So getting that snapshot, and that's why I'm always constantly thinking about what would something make a good picture, and that's helped as well. I know that sounds a bit strange. You think, well, how is it? It has, because it's helped me appreciate the smaller things. So obviously, things like music, like a song, or discovering a new artist, or hearing a new sort of song being written, um, is for me really helpful when it comes to my mental health, because it's helping me focus in on something. How something is so good and so um, not precious. I don't think precious is the right word. Something worthy to look at. So a good photograph is as well, and a good song is as well. And I think this is the thing that to try and find in um in your life. You're finding something that's worthwhile, that gives you pleasure, that's not going to be detrimental to your health. I mean, people will go to, I've done it, automatic sort of quick fixes. People are sometimes will be addicted to shopping or whatever, or eating or snacks or chocolate or anything like that. So, and this is what I've found over the years, that to me, music has really become extremely important. I remember when I was younger and growing up like 10 or 11, being very much aware that my parents didn't really listen to music at all. We had the radio on, when I used to get up for school, but they weren't. I mean, I asked my mum as I was growing up if she liked Elvis, and my dad used to dad used to like the real crooners, like there's a chap called Jim Reeves who, I mean, it's just so laid back, easy listening sort of music. But that was it. He was never really interested in collecting music or anything like that. And then as I say, it was an anomaly where I really sort of really got into it, and had a huge vinyl music collection, and getting interested in all sorts of types of music. And I think even now, in the last few months, where I've been able to dig out my old vinyl, play it, and really get pleasure, because it was some of the albums I had that I bought when I was 12 or 13, over 40 years ago, have been great, because you've been able to take yourself back to that. And I remember some of the times of thinking about when I was listening to this song, how I was feeling at the time. And that, for me, music has a great connection, because it's connected to things like uh, events that have gone on in your life, that certain things that could be bad and good. But and to me, again, just getting that pleasure. And I think one of the things that I've noticed, especially over the last 10 years, obviously with the invention of things like streaming, I find streaming soulless. And what I mean by that is that, yeah, you can listen to the music, that's great, but actually getting something like a vinyl record, or even a CD, or something where you are holding physically that music medium in your hand, and being able to look through the notes and all sorts of different things, is for me is really, really important, because again, you're connecting yourself. And I think with streaming, I think people, yeah, it's good for going out, and if you're traveling or something like that, you're not carrying any loads of different albums and stuff, but you are able to uh, connect with people when you buy physical mediums. And I can understand the reason why now so many people are into vinyl and into the physical formats, because they were. I was just looking at a video there on YouTube about how the CDs making a comeback, just like bizarre. It's just like, I mean, I remember my friend saying in the early 2000s, "Oh, MP3s, once streaming comes in, it'll kill off things like CDs, tapes, and vinyl." And I mean, it's done the opposite. It really is just, it's emboldened the vinyl market, and made it huge. I mean, obviously there's still millions and millions of streams that go on every day, but it's reignited people's love for physical media, which is, I think, is great. And again, this is one of the reasons why listening to music is really important to me. I mean, I like just writing down some of the bands. I mean, obviously people know that my favorite bands are Pet Shop Boys, but I love people like George Michael, Paul McCartney, the Beatles. I love. I've got all of their British albums and the American albums as well. I love stuff like 80s pop. So when you think about the new romantics, you think about things like Duran Duran, uh, um, Soft Cell, Human League, all that sort of thing. Obviously, that was huge in the 80s when I was growing up. And things like, I mean, when I listened to, I was never a fan of One Direction, but when you listen to like people when they've gone solo, Harry Styles, Zayn as well, I've got their albums, and they're really good as well. I really like that sort of thing. And yeah, one of the things that I really love is the Carpenters. I've got all their albums as well, and I find their story fascinating. Very sad, but it is. Her voice is just. There's no one that can go anywhere near that. Just amazing. I, I love The Weekend. I love his new album. I think it's great. There's an energy to it I really like, and I know people will take the piss, but um, I always like Cliff Richard. and I know I don't care. And even in the 80s, I liked them. And sorry, I'll just bring the microphone. Even in the 80s, I liked them. And I've never, ever cared about, oh, you know, um, what people think about my sort of like record. I don't care. I like it. That's fine. It's not hurting anybody. I like the music that I like. So, I mean, one of the bands that I bought a few weeks ago when this came out, and it's signed as well, is Result Kicks, a British band, who when I first had their first like few couple albums, I was okay, but this is a great album. I really like this, and I listened to this loads and loads and loads. You thinking really, but it's just a matter of just listening to a few things. I mean, majority of the music now. I mean, the music that comes out, absolute garbage. I mean, just rubbish. I mean, it's just generic nonsense music, and it's sad to see that that music has gone to a certain uh, sort of blandness, that everything's the same. It's a rap sort of thing, da 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 da, da, and it's just very boring. It doesn't, interest me at all. But I just thought I'd like to say that music does help me, and I think finding yourself something that helps you with your mental health is really important.